What is it about the Rams scouting system, about Les Snead? Maybe it's, that because they haven't had a lot of high picks, necessity is the mother of invention. You've got to play with somebody, so you've got to rely on the lower picks. But what is it about the scouting system that allows lower picks to come in so early and to be impact players?
I think when you're talking about the receiver position, especially, they prioritize how do you play, right? It's not necessarily just about numbers. And Les Snead talked a lot when my time there about how you have these little boxes, right? And you want to check the boxes, right? So that there are all kinds of different data points. And, whether or not a guy's 40 time is this, it's okay, well, what's his 3-cone shuttle time, right? What's the way that he separates from different guys when he's getting in his routes? Well, how does he go from the line of scrimmage to 5 yards down the field, and what's he able to do there? And so that's one aspect of it. But then I think once guys get into the building and they're coached up by Eric Yarber, who's been with the Rams. He's their receivers coach, and he's been with the Rams as long as Sean McVay has been there. And guys have gotten better, So that's one thing where I was hearing Puka Nacua's name basically since he got there in the offseason program from people I still know there and, reporters who were writing about him. And so it's surprising anytime you see a 5th-round pick come in and make this kind of an impact, especially, in the first couple weeks of the season. And if Cooper Kupp were healthy, I don't think we'd be seeing this because, look,
right,
Matthew Stafford will target Cooper Kupp. And we understand that. We understand why that is, right? Cooper Kupp is an elite receiver when he's healthy and when he's out there on the field. And the connection that those two guys have is second to none. But because Cooper Kupp is unavailable, it's kind of like you said, necessity is the mother of innovation, right? So Matthew Stafford had to find different weapons that he was going to be able to rely upon. Tutu Atwell's emergence is almost more surprising to me than that of Puka Nacua because
he's
Atwell's
got great
been
hands
there. I mean, but he's been there for the last couple of years, and for whatever reason now it has clicked with him, and he has been able to get on the field and make plays. But what Nacua's done over the first 2 games of this season is historic. No rookie has ever had as many catches, as many yards as he's had in his first 2 games. I mean, that's ridiculous. And the fact that he's been able to really pace that offense and be a really good, reliable target for what is now a very healthy Matthew Stafford. I think we can see, if you look at him and the way he's throwing dots and dimes and darts this year, he was not doing that last year. They've also fixed the offensive line in front of him. The protection's been good. But the fact that he can go out there and just target Nacua, and Nacua's, making him right by making plays, and it does say a lot about the Rams and what they can be this year despite being so young.
What do you think it is about Sean McVay that has caused him a bit to change this year, maybe to play a little bit more of a physical brand of football, and essentially to say, last year was my most miserable year in football, and that is not going to happen again? Give me a view into the mind of Sean McVay as he tries to make this year a different year than last year.
Well, I'll do my best. The thing that's always struck me about Sean McVay is how much he loves football and how much he loves teaching and how enthusiastic he gets just about describing the game, right? So, and if that's the way that he would talk to me as an internal reporter, and I guess now I've been external for the last 4 or 5 years, whatever it's been, it's now that must be magnified that much more when he's talking to players, right? When he's teaching things to them and making sure that they understand what the concepts are. I mean, I will remember forever when seeing him in his first couple OTAs, in phase 3 of the offseason program, and he's getting out there and he's like running the routes with the receivers, right? He is really demonstrating how he wants these things to be run. And then he's getting out there and he's covering them as like a cornerback. Like, that's not something you typically see from a coach. It also is because he was 31 at the time, right? So he's physically a little bit more able to do these things than certain other coaches, but that passion that he has and that love for the game, it, you know, from everything that I've heard about it, he needed to kind of renew that. He may lose some of that last year just based on the way that they just didn't have any success. And it's not something that they'd ever been through with the Rams since he had been there. So I think it's taking the step back, realizing how much you love the game, realizing that, you know, you can bring in different guys like a Mike LaFleur, who he's familiar with. And obviously Matt LaFleur was the Rams offensive coordinator in 2017 before he went to Tennessee and then on to become the Green Bay Packers head coach and kind of get more of that structure back into what the offense could be. So I think all of that plays into it, but yeah, it seems like this could be a really fun year. And it probably reminds some in the organization more of like that 2017 where everything just kind of came together and the Rams burst onto the scene and it was like, whoa, what's this? This is fun. And it was a very, very different feel in the building from what it had been in 16 and in previous years, you know, with Jeff Fisher, and just the thing was not getting where it needed to be. And so I think with all these young players, you know, where it is now, okay, we are teaching them how to be professionals and how to make sure that they can be excellent on a play-to-play basis. Like, that probably fires you up, especially when you go out and you have success against a division rival in Seattle and you kind of give San Francisco a lot that they can handle. And we know how good San Francisco is.
I want to ask you two other quick things. One, I'm fascinated by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers from the standpoint of, I really thought they were going to be one of the worst teams in football. They couldn't run the ball. I was down on Baker Mayfield, and Baker Mayfield comes in. He's really efficient. And, you know, really, and it's just been 2 games. I get it. But for the first time, he's been an efficient player. He's not careless at all, which he has been often in his career. And I think that, look, obviously you can make the point that this is not going to be a great division, so somebody's got to win it, and just because they win it, big deal. But you also look at this team, and you look at a team that basically has, right now, if you think about it, Myles, you have a team that has allowed 17 points a game, and I think you don't have to ask the offense to be an explosive offense.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.